Hello and welcome to another update video about RUNE. Yeah, RUNE got rejected in the resistance area and actually crashed down into the support region here for a possible B wave in the last few hours. Yeah, I mean, the bulls need to turn up here before the price breaks below $3.72 to maintain the yellow scenario as a valid scenario in which we're moving up in a possible diagonal pattern. But again, it's just all diagonals, right? There is nothing that we can really rely on here, nothing that is really clear, and it's all very fragile and choppy. So we have a wave 1, a wave 2. This is not yet a third wave, but it could be the A-B pattern in wave 3. If the bulls turn up before breaking and sustaining below 371, the sustaining is very important because 371 is not an invalidation point, but it is the level where the white scenario becomes more probable. But anyway, as long as we're holding above it, the C wave could follow in the 4-5 pattern. And that gives us a 5-wave move to the upside on the RUNE chart. The problem is the pullback looks very impulsive. Now, that's not necessarily a problem as such, because the B wave is an ABC structure. Let me put that onto the chart. A wave down, B wave up, C wave down. And the C wave can be an impulse, but considering how far it's sold off, and that I'm considering that Bitcoin sell-off has only just begun, I think actually the white scenario is very, very likely. I shared with you in one of the last videos a strategy to trade this potentially, and I shared with you that I love to see these movements as ranges, Elliott wave patterns as a range, right? So that we have here an overall range where support is down there at 140, and should the price drop, it makes sense to accumulate a bit, basically gridding the range. And as we then go higher, it kind of makes sense to sell again. So the idea is that these triangles represent the position size. So green is buying, red is selling, right? And that is how these ranges can be worked on, and that helps with some of the frustrations, because this is an extremely choppy market. It has been for a long time. And it is so choppy because we are not really in an altcoin season. We're not really dealing with a lot of impulses to the upside. Everything's really choppy. Everything could be a correction. We just don't know because we haven't got 5 waves up anywhere, with the exception of a few charts. And then you always have to consider that levels might break, and then it makes sense to look for the stable element on the chart. And what is really the stable element on the chart, right? When does the overall assumption will break? Well, and that is with a break below 140, because that's the 78.6 retracement of the larger cycle. Quick reminder, we can take a look at the long-term RUNE chart. I think I shared it with you in one of the last updates. And on the long-term RUNE chart, we have support all the way down to around about 140. Here, yeah. And that's the stable element, and the overall bullish thesis will fail if the price breaks below 140, but as long as it's holding, everything's good. So that means, this range can pretty much be traded because this is the stable element, and you don't need to worry about all these micro patterns. So you can just, in a very casual way, buy as we go lower, sell as we go higher, buy as we go lower. It will take a while until we really get a major breakout. I mean, maybe it's on the way, but that's one of the best. You could mix strategies, but I'm just sharing with you some ideas, right? I mean, there are many ways how this can be traded. Elliott wave can only give us the roadmap. Elliott wave is like a map, right? It tells us where things could get difficult. It tells us what the likely pathways are. It tells us where things could be going, but it is not a crystal ball, right? So important is to understand when we shift from the yellow into the white scenario. And the white count indicates we could be still working on this wave 2, which presumably bottomed in August. And it might take us down to 219 or even 140. And $3.72 is key support here. That's the level where probabilities will shift towards the white count. The invalidation point for the yellow count is 331. That's the update about RUNE. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.